People have been paralyzed, people have died. So for anybody who is out there thinking to cheat, they have to be made an example of. They have to be punished, they have to be embarrassed. And that's what I've been doing.
Right, okay, you might say good, okay, fine.
You're going to be on the edge come April 26th.
Okay, and we'll come to the fight in a moment, but just for the purposes of this, if you need to accept due process was conducted, and at the end of it, they made conclusions. You may not like the conclusions, you may not accept the conclusions, but they are conclusions which have allowed this fight to happen. Without them concluding that he hadn't done this deliberately, you wouldn't be getting in the ring with him.
And again, fighters can fail drugs tests and appear back in the ring. It's happened a million times before, and it will happen a million times again.
Conor Benn versus Eubank got heated in Piers Morgan's show, and the energy shifted instantly. Benn's tone was cold and deliberate, every word aimed directly at Eubank. You could feel that this wasn't show talk, but something deeper, a rivalry that has turned into personal war.
I have to like him. Every single person I fight, I hit with bad intentions. It's the name of the game. We know what we're in for. We know what we've signed up for. Our life's always on the line. That's our choice. You know, ultimately we prepare extremely hard. We're elite athletes. We do the best we can. But the end goal is to never ruin someone's life.
This was more than a verbal exchange. It was two men carrying family legacies clashing in front of millions. Conor tried to show empathy, but Eubank read it as weakness. You could feel the tension in every pause, every stare. It was pride versus pain, two fighters using words like jabs before the real punches come.
Genuinely curious.
I don't want this to be, you know, you're not getting any emotions out of me.
You think you're being smart, but you're not. You're just being an idiot.
I'm not being smart.
You think you're being smart.
Piers is being smart.
No,
you're being dumb.
Smart.
He got you.
I'm still gonna flatten you.
He got you.
Do I want you to get back up, Chris?
He got you.
Do I want you to amend your relationship with your dad?
Piers is not getting me.
Most of the public do. Most of the public do. Is your dad in my corner come fight night? Yes, he is. But yes, I would love to see you guys mend your relationship. Okay. It is sad to see, and life is too short.
I don't want to hear about
life is too short.
It's
going to be sad when you're us.
Eubank spoke with calm confidence, showing that Benn's mind games had no effect on him. He sounded focused, collected, and ready for business. Benn tried to match the energy, but Eubank kept control of the exchange. It felt like a man who already knew exactly what he was going to do once the bell rings.
And games are you trying to do?
And you're learning.
This is where he's got to revert back to. This is where you got to revert back to try and get under my skin.
Truth.
Say what you like. Say what you like. I'm going to systematically beat you. Systematically beat you. Oh, you like that word? Systematically beat you November 15th.
That's the biggest word I've heard you use.
To right, biggest word I've used personally. Yeah, no, I rate it.
Systematic.
Thought I'd drop in.
This moment was pure chaos. Both men went from calm to furious in seconds. You could see how personal it had become. The talk of family and pride lit a fire that words could no longer cool. It wasn't about boxing skills anymore. It was about proving who was tougher, louder, and more dominant.
It's a promise.
Oh, it's not a promise, is it?
You can't touch
scumbag.
You can't.
What we did.
You can throw an egg in his face, and his father can't.
No,
me and him are fighting.
You're just upset.
Me and you are fighting.
Can't stand you. And
I'm
my
not
dad has
upset.
my back. You are. That's all that
I'm not
was.
upset.
My dad put
me
his
and you are
arms
fighting.
around you.
Whatever happens between us,
my dad would put his arms around you. What are you going to do about it?
No one else.
What are you going to do about it? Tell me.
No one else can touch me.
Tell me.
If they do, there'll be consequences.
Oh, consequences to what?
If anyone else.
Tension hit its peak here. The crowd went silent because every word carried weight. Benn refused to explain, leaving everyone guessing. Eubank tried to force a reaction but couldn't break his focus. You could feel the pride of both families standing behind them, generations of rivalry burning through that conversation.
Wouldn't get the hand back.
What does that mean?
I don't need to say anything more.
Chris, come on, you've got to explain what that means.
I don't have to do anything.
He's being clever again.
You tell a man he's not going to have his hand back. Why?
I made the statement, and that's it.
What are you going to do to his hand?
I made the statement, and that is it, Piers.
But was it not disrespectful to target his dad?
The guy put his hand on my neck.
Defending his son?
I don't care why. He put his hand on his neck.
Well, there's no reason. I mean, wouldn't you defend your children?
Yes,
if someone did that
of
to
course
one
I
of
would. Of course I would. But I'm not talking about me. I'm talking what he did.
Piers Morgan's question brought everything into perspective. This wasn't just a fight, it was a family legacy being tested. Both fighters carry the weight of their father's names, and the pressure is immense. When that bell rings, pride, history, and revenge all collide in one explosive moment that could define both of their careers.
Carrying that generational burden on your shoulders, living up to your fathers, who were two of the greatest fighters this country's ever produced. There's a lot going on here. I can feel it. There's a lot of complex emotions. What do you think happens when that bell goes for round one?
You guys are going to see one of the best fights in British boxing history. That's what I think happened.
Conor Benn's tone was cold and direct. He looked Eubank straight in the eye and made it clear that the mind games were done. You could tell he learned from their last fight. There was control in his voice, confidence in his body language, and a clear message that this time he's not playing.
Who's got more to lose?
It ain't working, Chris. See
Who's
these
got more to
antics,
lose?
yeah? I got your number.
I won the fight.
I got your number.
I don't need
Chris.
to be here.
I got your number, Chris.
You got my number.
I got your number, Chris. See all these antics and all that. Well done, you got in my head first time round. Well done to you.
It's not antics.
Well done to you.
It's the
Ain't
fight
working,
game.
Eh, Bane?
This was the voice of a man ready for war. Ben sounded locked in and determined. He's not here for promotion or attention. Every word reflected focus and discipline. He's visualized the fight so many times that stepping into the ring now feels like destiny. You can feel his hunger through every sentence.
You know, I live for this. I've had the fight over 100 times in my head. You know, for me, it's just focusing on the training, you know, removing myself from my comfort zones, my familiarities, my family, and, you know, fully dialing in. You know, I'm not going to allow myself to Chris and go back and forth and, you know, all that PR's done. I'm excited to get in there and put my hands on him Saturday night. Irrelevant of all the rubbish he wants to talk and
Eubank Jr.'s words carried experience and authority. He's been through every stage of the boxing grind and it shows. There's no nervousness, just calm belief. He's not focused on Ben's talk, only on execution. This is a fighter who knows what it takes to win and plans to prove it again under the bright lights.
I know what's coming. I prepared my whole life for these moments. I've put the time in. I've dedicated decades to this sport, and I've done it all without cheating, without cutting any corners.
Bomac spoke with conviction, believing his fighter's time is coming soon. His tone reflected trust and confidence in the hard work already done. To him, this fight is the final step before greatness. You can sense he sees potential that's ready to explode, a champion just waiting for the right opportunity to prove his worth.
I said, man, once you get past this fight and you dominate this fight, they can't deny you fighting for a world title, you know. At 160, I believe he can be a world champion.
At 160?
At 160, I believe he can be a world champion.
Yeah.
Johnny Nelson's view sounded balanced but leaned slightly toward Eubank. He praised Ben's toughness, yet reminded that Eubank had already shown everything in their first meeting. It felt like Nelson was saying Ben improved, but not enough to close the distance. His tone suggested that while Ben's heart can't be questioned, skill and experience may still belong to Eubank.
Does that mean you think do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap and
Yes.
get an outcome in his second fight?
Without a doubt.
You do?
He couldn't have done any more. If he could have knocked out Conor in that fight, he would have done.
done, yeah.
He just couldn't get rid of him. And Conor stuck it. So regardless of him being surprised that Conor stuck it out a lot more, he couldn't get rid.
Eubank's words carried deep emotion and focus. It wasn't a threat made in anger, it was quiet determination. You could feel the intensity behind his calm delivery, as if every punch on fight night will carry the memory of what happened before. He sounded like a man ready to release months of frustration inside the ring.
As he has no idea the pain that is in store for him tomorrow night.
Carl Froch spoke from experience, warning that some challenges simply aren't worth the price. His tone was serious, like someone who knows how brutal this sport can be. It felt like Froch was hinting that Ben's risk outweighs the reward, especially against someone with Eubank's size, power, and composure.
able to replenish. I don't think he should have agreed to this £10 weight limit. So whatever he's getting paid money-wise, it's not worth it, because when he steps through them ropes tonight to face...
Ben's reply came across as confident and dismissive. He refused to let Eubank's words or actions get under his skin. His tone was relaxed but sharp, showing he's mentally strong and focused on the fight rather than the noise. It's clear Ben wants to silence Eubank not through arguments but through performance in the ring.
You know, you could say the same when he slapped me, punched me, whatever it was. You know, it's like he's got to play this victim card. He needs to shift that victim mentality, or it's the narrative he's pushing. So whatever he's doing, it really don't concern me, man.
Teddy Atlas approached this matchup with his usual analytical depth. He pointed out the physical imbalance and how it affects strategy. His words highlighted the uphill battle Ben faces against a naturally bigger and stronger Eubank. For Atlas, the key isn't emotion, but execution. Ben must be sharp, disciplined, and defensively sound to avoid punishment. The fight becomes not just about who hits harder, but who can stay calm while navigating physical disadvantage. It's a chess match played with punches, and Atlas sees the smarter man winning.
My preview of this fight is the same as it would have been for the fathers. How unusual is that? So you got Ben, the smaller man, and then there's a hydration clause. He was a welterweight that he fought a few fights at junior middleweight, but Eubank's been a middleweight and super middleweight most of his career. So he is the guy who's bigger. I see the fight as Ben having to get close without taking damage.
Ade Oladipo looked at this fight from a balanced perspective. He saw growth in both fighters, but especially in Ben, who now understands the challenge more clearly. Ade's tone suggested optimism about Ben's chances, believing experience will help him improve. Yet he also reminded that Eubank's power and composure remain dangerous. His breakdown made it sound like a test of maturity for Ben, a chance to show that lessons have turned into progress. For fans, it's not just another rematch, it's a story of evolution and redemption.
Ultimately, in the end, sort of bigger guy won it. The rematch is going to be interesting, I think. He's now realised that I can hurt that fighter. I've felt the other fighter's power. Next time, I know what's coming. I think he might even do better in the next one. Yeah, I think he's got a shout to win it.
And Eubank's older.
I get these fights, but you do want to see Ben, can you kick on to try and win a...
Johnny Nelson praised both fighters, but leaned toward Ben when discussing potential growth. He respected Eubank's effort, yet emphasized that Ben seemed to have more energy left in reserve. His assessment was based on small margins, those tiny moments that decide a fight. Nelson's tone hinted that Ben has studied the first battle and now sees the gaps he can close. He views Ben not as an underdog, but as a fighter learning fast. The respect was mutual in his words, but the edge of confidence clearly rested with Ben.
I think it's going to be revenge. I'm flipping. I think both fights put on an amazing performance. I think both fighters were spot on. I think both fighters should be really proud of themselves. I think Chris Jr., he rinsed himself out when there was nothing left to give. Whereas I think I looked at Conor, I thought, you've got something left to give. And so if he makes the adjustments, and if the conditions are exactly the same as they were for the contractually conditions are exactly the same as they were in the first place, I'm going Conor. I think
Conor Benn's response felt calm and dismissive, showing emotional control that contrasts the case around their rivalry. He made it clear that this isn't about hate, but competition. His words reflected a more mature mindset, focused on the fight instead of personal tension. Ben sounded confident in his own skin, unwilling to get dragged into Eubank's psychological games. This composure gives a glimpse of his mental growth, suggesting that he's no longer reacting to the noise, but channeling all focus toward performance.
Listen, I don't like Chris. I don't have to like him, but no one's out to hurt anybody here, you know. And it's a shame that he lives in that world of paranoia where he genuinely believes that anybody's out to get him, because nobody really is. And it's for his toenail. I couldn't care less about his toenail. You know, like, bro, like, I don't care. I mean, I'll cut some of mine off and give it to him if he wants.
Eddie Hearn highlighted the danger behind chasing revenge too aggressively. He acknowledged the scale of the fight, but reminded how crucial smart decisions are in boxing. His tone was part excitement, part caution. Moving up in weight is never simple, and Hearn made sure to note the risk Ben is taking. His comment painted a realistic picture of the business and physical side of boxing. It's not only about pride, but strategy, timing, and preservation. Hearn knows one wrong move can change a fighter's entire career.
we got to have a think about it. You know, Conor's saying, I want revenge, I want this, and it's the biggest fight. I mean, it's massive. But you don't want too many fights like that, and we're giving away advantage up here at 160.
George Groves spoke like someone who understands the emotional climb fighters experience after their biggest victories. He hinted that Eubank may already have reached his peak moment, that the hunger which drives champions might not burn the same way now. Groves' tone felt reflective and cautionary, warning that chasing one more high can sometimes expose a fighter's decline. His comments placed the spotlight on Eubank's motivation and whether he still carries that raw desire or if he's now running on reputation. It's a subtle insight into the mental battle that often defines careers after glory.
I think maybe Conor Benn beats him. I think if I was Eubank, my point was at the time, I was like, mate, like you have just climbed your Everest. You've just headlined a stadium. You've beat what is now a rival in spectacular fashion in terms of getting the win with your dad by your side and all the hooting and hollering that went on between, you know, amongst it. You can't top that feeling. I don't begrudge you if you want to earn more money out of the sport, but be careful because you look way past his best.
Gordon Ramsay's prediction came with the sharp logic of someone who studies competition deeply. He broke down the physical realities of the fight, pointing out how weight and conditioning can shape the outcome more than emotion. His view that Eubank will dominate late rounds shows belief in endurance and discipline over raw aggression. Ramsay framed the matchup like a test of patience against explosiveness, where Benn's window for victory is short and Eubank's strength grows with time. It was a chef's precise analysis, served with the calm confidence of someone who respects the grind behind every fighter's preparation.
And jumping up a weight is hard, but jumping up 2 is even harder. So Chris has got the advantage if it goes past 6. Ben's got to get this done early, otherwise it's going to be Chris's. I predict Chris in round 6.
This moment between Conor Benn and Carl Froch captured the fine balance between energy and control. Froch offered advice rooted in ring experience, reminding Benn that boxing is as much about patience as it is about power. Benn's reaction showed his natural intensity and desire to keep the fight exciting, but Froch's tone was all about longevity and strategy. The exchange revealed the mindset clash between youthful aggression and veteran composure. It became a lesson in pacing, showing how great fighters must learn to harness chaos and turn it into calculated precision inside the ropes.
I'd like to see you calm it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Just on the outside, just the movement, just steady it down.
That's boring though, Carl.
No, on the outside, man, you don't want to be chucking energy away and burning down the bar. Think of it.
It's boring.
No, it's not boring, because then you get in range and make it exciting.
Hamza Shiraz backed Benn with confidence that sounded both logical and personal. He emphasized the physical toll that weight cuts can have, especially when fighters push their limits to meet a category. His analysis painted Benn as the fresher, more explosive man who could take control early before fatigue becomes a factor. Shiraz's tone suggested faith in Benn's timing and aggression, believing that the younger fighter's sharpness will overcome Eubank's experience. His perspective added another voice to the camp that sees Benn's early pressure as the key to a statement victory.
What's your prediction, Ben or Eubank?
I've got Conor Benn to win inside 6 rounds. I feel like the weight will affect Eubank too much from how it affected him before as well. And it was a hard fight. It wasn't an easy fight. Yeah, Conor Benn to win inside about 6.
This rematch has become more than just another fight night. It is pride against redemption, technique against pressure, and legacy against hunger. Every word from fighters, trainers, and legends builds the anticipation higher. Conor Benn steps into this bout with the fire of a man trying to prove he belongs among the elite, while Chris Eubank Jr. carries the calm of experience and the confidence of a fighter who has already been through the storm once. The contrasting energies make this clash impossible to predict and too intense to ignore. Fans can already feel the tension rising with every new statement and training clip. This is not only about who wins, but who learns and evolves under the lights. Make sure you are ready when these two finally step into the ring again. Subscribe now and stay locked for every update, breakdown, and reaction from Fight Week.